Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment of Dear Deja. As per usual, please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm coming with Live at 5, Dear Deja, my unpopular opinion. Make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you stick around because I want you to hear all my commentary and feedback from this Dear Deja letter, and then I want you to leave your own commentary in the comment section. All right, so let's get started on this letter. Dear Deja, I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur. I just opened up my second salon in Jersey. I just purchased my first investment property. I'm a homeowner. I drive a luxurious car. I mean, honestly, I'm doing my thing. I'm the first in my family to get to the bag in such a major way, and I'm the youngest. My immediate family is so freaking happy for me. I take care of my mom's, pops, little bro, and little sis. I try to do for everyone in my family when I can. My mom's has a younger sister that is not that many years older than me, and we used to be super tight. On some real ish, I dad looked up to her. I used to follow her around when I was younger. That's how much I admire her. In the more recent years, she's been hit with some hard times. She lost her baby father, she was diagnosed with lupus, and she's had a few run-ins with the law. I noticed her spirit changing years ago, which put a little distance between us. But no matter what, I love my aunt. These last couple of months, she's been coming back around my immediate family more and more, and we've been embracing her, but shit just feel weird. It feels like my aunt thinks we're in a competition. She's always comparing what I have now to what she had when she was my age. She makes slick comments and goes on shady social media rants when my family puts on for me. The other night at a family gathering when my uncle wanted to toast me opening a second location for my shop, she cut him off mid-toast and started going on about nobody cares about her illness, the loss of her kid's father, or nothing she got going on, and that the family is only focused on one person because she, meaning I, is popular and I have money. My mom keeps saying things like, ignore your aunt. She's going through a tough time. And I definitely hear her, but I feel like this animosity is going to grow into jealousy, and this jealousy is going to grow into real hate. And I'm trying to keep all negativity away from me because I have big plans for my future. I don't know how to play this one. Please help. Sign, I'm not debating with no old bitch that's hating. Ciao. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get all my Dear Dejas and Live at 5s and unpopular opinion notifications when they're going up. And also, subscribe to the channel and make sure you leave your comments, all right? Woo, ciao. See it up. I had to take a sip for that one. I had to take a sip for everyone. What am I talking about? My glasses. Okay. First of all, as always, I'm going to start off with the good parts. Congratulations, baby girl. Congratulations, baby girl. It's so crazy because last night in my unpopular opinion video, I talked about young people versus us older people, and you know how we're supposed to lead, guide, and mentor you guys in a positive direction. And you know, but we're also supposed to give you the freedom to be young and do what you do and get on about your way. Right? So let me first say congratulations. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you, even not knowing you, you know, and I hope and pray that your businesses continue to flourish and you continue to grow. And I'm praying that, you know, you will continue to be a light and a consistent contributor to your family and being able to just do what other folks haven't been able to, because that moves the needle and that helps families, you know, start to kind of reshape the trajectory of the direction that they're going in, right? So that makes me happy. That makes me happy to hear you moving on a good foot and doing what you need to do. So congratulations, dear. Let me be the first to congratulate you, if and not the last, right? This situation makes me sad. This situation makes me sad only because I feel like a lot of things with people is internal, right? Some things are not personal. They're just things that are internal. And sometimes people can't, my mom used to use a saying, see the forest for the trees, right? So right now they just have tunnel vision about what's important to them when they don't realize that it's other things happening around them that is important as well. You know, and my heart goes out to your aunt, because to have so many streaks of bad luck in the recent years, it makes me feel bad. Nobody wants to go through unfortunate bad situations over and over again. That is very, very stressful. I want to also say something about adult life that I've learned, and I'm going to pass this jewel on to everybody. Adult life is so hard. Right? Adult life is hard because in adult life, you have a lot of responsibilities. And in having those responsibilities, people think that as long as you fulfill your commitment to the responsibilities, everything is going to go perfect. That's not the way adult life works. That's not the way adult life works. In the process of you trying to be an adult and do everything the right way, so many obstacles continue to bang on you that it can, if you let it, really, really stress you out. Really, really stress you out. So my heart goes out to your aunt, because I think she may be in one of the most tumultuous times of her life. And for her, she's having a really, really, really huge problem being able to kind of maneuver and shake around that. And then it makes me also feel a little sad, because it sounds like she may feel like she doesn't have the support of the family. And it sounds like you guys are a tight-knit family, right? So that makes me sad. I'm not going to necessarily say I agree or disagree with your mom. So your mom's saying, you know, ignore your aunt. She's going through a tough time, right? A part of me agrees with mom because of this. Number one on the list, she knows you and she knows her sister. She knows you and she knows her sister. So I think that deep down, you know, she feels like knowing you and knowing her, you guys can get through this, but you just can't feed into what's going on right now. Right? So I think because she knows the both of you, she's giving you the best advice she can from knowing the both of you. And I believe she knows the both of you very well, right? So I could definitely understand mom's perspective. And I want to kind of side with mom because she actually has, you know, some experience in this field. It's not like she's some long distance relative that just showed up and said, you know, no, I could imagine she's been around. She gave birth to you and she's been around her sister, the sister's whole life. So, you know, I think the mom is giving you some advice from a very, very knowledgeable space, which I respect, right? I think that when folks fall on hard times, they need their people to chime in, right? So anytime that folks fall on tough times, they need their people to chime in. I have been present for a lot of my people, right? What I think that people don't factor in is when you're growing through that tough time, you cannot abuse your people. Because what ends up happening is no matter how much your people want to be there for you, they also don't want to be abused. And it's going to come to a point where I have to either choose if I want to continue dealing with this abuse or I want to stop being your people. So that's the standpoint in which I think we need to work from. When people are growing through, that's my favorite thing to say, when people are growing through tough times, they are miserable. They are miserable, you know, and depending on their level of thinking and their experiences, they can start to take that miserable feeling out on other people. When you are somebody's people, 99.9% of the time, their miserable feelings and all of the venting and all of the anger is going to come out on you because you're the person that's here, right? Now, once again, like I said, you have a choice. You can listen to mom and say, you know what? I know that this is not my real aunt. I know this is not my real aunt. And because I know this is not really you, and I know you better than this, and I know that right now is just a tough time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remain quiet and I'm going to endure this until we can get past this. But I want you to be true to self. I want you to be true to self, because I think we live in a world where people would rather you abandon self for them. And when you don't, you get looked at as the bad guy because you didn't choose them over you. And I think in this world, the only person that truly matters is the only person that it matters if they're happy is you. Is you, because if you're happy, you're able to do and be and show up and everything else for other people. But when you're not happy and you're miserable, then you can't do and be and you can't show up for anybody else. So if you abandon self for other folks, then I don't know how happy and how great you will be. I know the other person will be happy because you put them before you. And I'm saying that because a part of me feels like you want to be there for your aunt because you know she's going through a rough time. But I think the other part of you feels like you might be slightly getting a form of abuse because of that, and it's starting to have a wear and tear on you. That's where the rubber meets the road. What's wrong with this cup? That's where the rubber meets the road. The rubber meets the road when it's either you or her. Once again, I'm going to say this, baby girl. If you sacrifice you for another person, you have to be okay with that decision. So if you're saying that your aunt's antics is because she's going through a tumultuous time in her life, and right now you are willing to put up with those antics until your aunt gets well, then you need to make that decision, stand on it, and be okay with it. What cannot happen is you make the decision to stand by your aunt's side and then act as though she's doing too much. She's liable to do anything. Right now, she's in a bad space. And if you're agreeing to allow anything, then you cannot complain about what you allowed. Because have you ever heard the saying, what you allow is what will continue? Right? So if you're saying, once again, listen, this is not my aunt. This is not who she is. She's better than this. This is just a rough time. Then, my dear, weather the storm with your aunt. Weather the storm with your aunt. Understand that sometimes there will be some bruises and there will be some kicks and some punches. But eventually, like you said, she will transform it back to the aunt who you know and love. And you guys will be able to move forward. If that is how you genuinely feel in your heart, then baby, I'm saying go with what you feel in your heart. Go with what you feel in your heart. It makes all the sense in the world to go with what you feel in your heart. Also because people need people. And it sounds like you are one of your aunt's people, which I could understand and respect. My only thing that I would say to you is if you are deciding to show up as your aunt's people and continue to be the punching bag for her while she travels through this rough time, then you can't now become a miserable, ungrateful, and unhappy person while you're going through this with her because you signed up for it. And like I said a little while ago, what's allowed is what will continue. So once again, I don't want to discourage you from being your aunt's people and having your aunt's back and sticking around with her through her tough time. If that's the choice that you're making, my only request is that you be solid in your decision and you stand 10 toes down in it. And standing 10 toes down in it, that means that 6 months from now, you won't be complaining about it. A year from now, you won't be crying about it. 5 years from now, you won't be still talking about it, only because you agreed to grow through this process with your aunt. And once again, I'm going to say this again. What's allowed is what will continue. Right? Okay. That's the part A of it. Let me give you the part B. The part B is if you decide to get off the bandwagon, right? What I know about unfortunate situations is that it can really, really, really take a lot out of you. A lot out of you. When you go through unfortunate situations, it could take a lot out of you. I'm going to give you an example. I said this on a couple of my videos before, and I'll say it again. The night that my father passed away, I wished everybody on the planet's father dead. And I tell everybody to this day, I know for a motherfucking fact that that was the most terrible thing to say, the most terrible thing to feel, the most horrible feeling to have. Yes, Khadija, why? Why would you say that? It's what I felt. It's what I felt. It's genuinely what I felt. I was in a miserable space, and because of that, I had become so low that the evil in me, the demon, the demonic spirit in me had risen, and I would never lie and tell you that that wasn't my genuine feeling, because that's another thing. When I have a conversation with people about this, they say things to me like, "Oh, but you didn't really mean that, right?" No, I meant that. In that moment, I meant that. Right? It was not until I became an adult and I learned how to manage stressful situations instead of becoming miserable that I saw that, Khadija, that was not right. That was not right. But until I was able to learn that, oh no, I meant that. In those moments, I meant that. I can stand 10 toes down into that. In those moments, I meant that. But in those moments, I was also miserable. You know, praise God that I have grown to be the type of person that when I'm in adverse situations, instead of becoming miserable, I use it as motivation and I let it fuel me. And I tell my motherfucking self, it's rough right now, girl, but it's going to get so much better. And it hurts so bad right now that it's going to feel so fucking good that you're not even going to remember that it hurt. So for me, when I have adverse situations like my sister passed away, my stepdad passed away, I didn't have the feeling of, I want everybody's stepfather to pass away. I want everybody's sister to drop dead. No. I have the feeling of, I have to make them proud. I have to show them that everything I told them when they were here on earth, I'm going to push through and proceed with. But that's just me. Not everybody is able to do that. Most people in the world become who I was the night my father died. And when they become that person, I want to say this because I've seen it in the flesh. It is demonic. And contingent upon how much it continues, it can get worse. And for me, I can't live with the Khadija that showed up the night my father died. So my father died in 2005. My sister died in 2022. If the Khadija that wished everybody father dead in 2005 would have turned around and wished everybody's sister dead in 2022 when my sister passed, I would not have been upset if folks would have disconnected from me. Because that only goes to show, not only can you be a miserable person, but you have not changed, you have not grown. And I want to ask, are you willing to stick around in hopes that your aunt will change and grow? Right? Because it's one thing to say, like I said a little while ago, it's one thing to say, that's not really my aunt. I know she's better than that, and I'm going to stick around and wait for her to get well. It's another thing to actually know if she can do that. You know, and the advice I would give you to kind of measure if that can take place is look at what happened and how long it's been happening, right? So I know that you said your aunt, she lost her kid's father. She was diagnosed with an illness. And it was one other thing you said. Let's look at how long ago those things happened. Let's look at if any positives in those things that happened were there that she can focus on as opposed to the negatives. And let's look at who is receiving what treatment in regards to the things that she's been through. Because that's another thing. I've also watched people be miserable and selective about who they take their misery out on. So my question would be to you is, are you the only person that your aunt is showing this side to you too? Because that may not be about, oh, you're just not who you normally are and you're just sick at the moment. That may be, it's something personal with me. Because my mother is not getting that side of you. My other aunt is not getting that side of you. My brother and sister is not getting that side of you. Only me. So that's another thing that you have to really, really go through and examine is how long she's been feeling this way. Is there any positive she could take away from these situations? And who is this abusive behavior being taken out on aside from you? Because then that will help you determine if you want to be the niece that stick around until she gets better, or if you want to be able to understand that this is who she is and distance yourself. And again, let me say this. I'm very close to my family, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm being an advocate for the separation or division of a family. Never. Never. But I also keep in mind that no matter how much blood relation you are to a person, that does not change who they are. And I know that we as people, when we are related to somebody, especially blood related, you want to see something in them and believe something about them. But most times you have to be honest about what you're up against. So it's one thing to say your aunt been taking this out on everybody. She been arguing with the whole family. She been trying to fight so-and-so since she got sick. That's one thing. It's another thing to say that every time my name comes up, I'm picked on, I'm disrespected, I'm treated a certain type of way. Because that's different. That's different. That's different. That's not just you're miserable overall temporarily. That's you're miserable and you're mad at me because of what your life is like. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to you. And the reason why I say that is because, like you said, once you become a punching bag and you allow folks to hold you accountable for the things that's going on in their lives, and you take that on his chin and you say, okay, well, I'll be okay with that, then they're going to do that for the rest of your life, mommy. For the rest of your life, it's going to always be your fault that something didn't go right in their lives. How? How could that be? That's your life. I'm over here living mine. I'm responsible for what went wrong in your life. I'm responsible for helping you fix your life. I'm responsible for trying to help you change and grow and do all the things that you're not even willing to do for yourself. That's my fault? No. So, sweetie, you have two choices here. You have two choices here, and nobody can make them but you. Right? And the one choice is you could decide to say, you know what, right now, my aunt is going through a tough time. Prior to all of these things, she was not like this. She never treated me like this. She never treated anybody like this. But right now, during her tough time, this is the way she's choosing to deal with it. And as her niece who loves her, I'm going to stand in this with her. Whatever she got to give, I'm willing to take. Because I know right now is a rough time for her, right? If that's what you're choosing to do, baby, again, what's allowed is what will continue. So whatever you have to endure on that journey, you can't complain about because it's what you allowed. And then the other part of you has to do some really, really, really deep diving and looking at, is this something personal? Or is this just who you are? Because it's one thing to say, like I said, you're in a miserable state, so you're against everybody. Okay, I get that. This is not personal against me. You're just in a miserable state, so you're not happy about anything or anyone. I got that. But it's also a separate situation when all of your misery and your anger is directed towards me. Then that's something personal. And then I have to question, if you do find out or figure out that it is something personal against you, what do you need to do? Because at that point, if it's personal against you, then it's a decision that you need to make. And whatever decision that you make, once again, you must be happy with it, be able to stand 10 toes down in it, and be solid on what you feel. But that's going to come from you figuring out what you want, what you can take, and what you want moving forward. So, I don't know, baby. I don't know. This is really, really, you have some assessing to do. For your aunt, you have some assessing to do. I've had this situation happen to me twice. I've had it happen to me twice, right? And, if I'm being honest, I can share with you what I felt. And what I felt is it was personal. It wasn't that the person was just miserable and bleeding all over everybody. No, the two people that I seen it with, they were personally taking it out on me, right? And in all fairness, right, initially it didn't upset me because I felt like that's what I would put in these folks' life for them to be able to have a person that could weather the storm with them. What I didn't realize was that this was not just a storm. This was an ongoing situation, and the goalposts will forever be moved in order for the storm to continue. And I had to realize, is that something that I want to continuously grow through, or is it something that I need to get away from? Right? I'm not a miserable person. I'm not a miserable person. So for me, it's not second nature for me to think negative. It's not second nature for me to be angry with anybody. It's not second nature for me to wish bad on anybody, because I had that phase in my life and I healed from it. Praise God to Operation Heal 100 Hearts. So when things happen, like I said to you a little while ago, I use that as the steam and the fuel to motivate me to get better. When my sister died, I went and I identified her body. Still to this day, one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But I owed that to my sister. I owed my sister to put her away the way she wanted to be put away. And everything that I have done since May 9, 2022 is to make my sister proud of me, to make my father proud of me, to make my stepfather proud of me, to make my aunt proud of me. Because I do not want to live miserable. That's not my choice. Sweetie, you have to now make your choice. Okay? All right. So once again, like I always say, I've only gotten a snippet of information through a letter. I need you to come in, call in, Zoom in, however you want to do it, so we can do the Healing Heart session and we can talk about, what storms you're willing to weather. If there's any storms you can weather, what you can do to move forward as family, but still be able to disconnect if that's what you need to do. I'm well aware of it all. I've had to do it all, right? And I want to help you because I want you and your family to be close, and I want y'all to be able to get through this. But I do not want your spirit to be diminished in the meantime, because as you opened up this letter saying, you are a very successful young lady. And you will be surprised how, when your mental is not right, how unsuccessful you can become very quickly. I don't want that for you, baby. I don't. I want you to continue being able to take care of your family and live your best life. Okay? And you will not be able to do so if something is affecting your mental. So if this is something that can affect you in that way, we want to kind of help you navigate through it so you can still be the successful young lady that you already are and blossom and flourish into more. All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you should have hit the thumbs up 27 plus minutes ago, okay? If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you can get all of the notifications when I go live, when I do live at 5, when I do Dear Deja, when I drop my unpopular opinion. Tomorrow is live at 5. In exactly 24 minutes, a Dear Deja will be dropping. A Dear Deja will be dropping Wednesday morning, and a Dear Deja will be dropping Thursday morning. Thank you for always tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate the support in abundance. My birthday is coming. And on Live at 5 tomorrow, we're going to discuss some things. I want to discuss Lent. I want to discuss Ramadan. We got some bodies to get ready for. Also, stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping some videos about my transformation. I'm excited. So stay tuned. I got some things in the works for you guys. I love you guys, and I appreciate the support.